everyone, welcome to English for You. I'm Kat.
And I'm Pat.
And we are on day 3 of our literature article on the secret garden. So we've already finished the story. We saw that it's about a girl who is from, well, not from India. I guess she's from India, but she's a British girl named Mary. And she moves back to England after most of her family dies. And initially, at the first, she's pretty spoiled. She's selfish. She's weak. But she changes over time, doesn't she?
Right, and the key part in this is finding a secret garden in her uncle's house. She meets a boy called Dickon, and despite the fact that he's from a lower class, which was a bit more important in those days in England, they form a friendship and he teaches her about plants.
That's right. And she also meets her cousin Colin, who is the neglected son of her uncle, Mr. Craven. And he thinks he's going to die from some illness. He doesn't get out of bed. So she encourages him to come outside. They play together in the secret garden. He becomes healthier. His father sees like, wow, you've become so healthy. And all the children are better for having discovered this garden.
Yeah, now we talked a bit about the themes of the book. We mentioned 3, which are the importance of friendship, the importance of outdoor activities, and having a positive attitude.
Yes.
Now, at the end of yesterday's article, we covered the importance of friendship, friendships based on equality, how it helps you to gain empathy and respect for other people. So we've covered that theme in quite a bit of detail. Today, we're going to explore the other 2 themes that we can see in the secret garden. Let's read through day 3 and see what it's all about.
Reading. The Secret Garden. The natural world is key to the second of the book's themes. At first, Mary is weak because she has never had to do anything for herself. She isn't even capable of dressing herself without help. Colin is also weak. He stays in bed or in a wheelchair because he believes he can't walk. The sunshine and fresh air of the gardens benefits both of them in the story. Playing and working in the garden turns Mary and Colin into healthy children. The third important theme is the power of a positive attitude. People's minds need nurturing, just like the secret garden the characters tend. An important moment for Colin happens when he determines to be a healthy person instead of a sickly one. He repeats his desire out loud and wishes hard for it to come true. Holding this idea in his mind is a crucial part of his recovery. It is his belief in himself and his determination to succeed that finally helps him regain his health.
So we get straight into this second theme and we say the natural world is key to the second of the book's themes. So it's about going outside, it's about the importance of outdoor activities, and a big part of that, of course, is the natural world.
That's right. So we talked about the importance of spending time outdoors. At first, Mary is weak because she has never had to do anything for herself. That's right. So she was surrounded by servants. Anytime she needed something, she could just, hey, you, come here, do this for me. And so it's even to a degree where, you know, she can't do anything for herself.
Right. And she probably wouldn't have gone outside much either. She would have stayed in her house with the servants doing everything for her.
Yeah.
And we see in the article, she isn't even capable of dressing herself without help.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah, she can't dress herself. She can't put her own clothes on properly unless somebody is helping and holding them for her. And we say she's not capable of it. If you're capable of something, you have the ability to do something. And we use be capable of this thing to stress that idea. If somebody is just capable, if you use the adjective by itself, we say they're good at their jobs. They can do many things. They can get stuff done. We could say Michelle is a very capable worker. But that doesn't really describe exactly what she can do. And that's why we use be capable of to get more specific. So we could say the teacher is capable of explaining difficult math in a very clear and simple way.
That's a very good capability because I think math is hard and complicated. So if somebody can explain it to me, that sounds like they are a capable teacher.
Yep.
All right, so we see that Mary is very weak. She can't dress herself without help. Colin is also weak. He stays in bed or in a wheelchair because he believes he can't walk. So he not only stays in bed, but anytime he gets out of bed, he's in a wheelchair. So a wheelchair is what it sounds like. It's a chair with wheels that you use if you are a person who can't walk, either because you're disabled, sick, injured, or maybe it hurts to walk for some reason. People use wheelchairs for various different reasons. Maybe, elderly people also use them if they get too weak to walk.
Yep. Okay, so they're both weak. They're not physically strong. They don't really do much by themselves. But as we see in the article, the sunshine and fresh air of the gardens benefits both of them in the story. Okay? So when we say sunshine, we just mean the light of the sun, but we particularly use it to mean the light on a bright, sunny day. There is always sunlight, even if it's cloudy. That's why it's day and not night. But when we say sunshine, we mean it's the sun's right there, it's coming out through the clouds, you get those lovely yellow golden beams of light. It's quite bright light on a sunny day.
Yeah, exactly. And you get some vitamin D from the sun. You get lots of other benefits from the sun. And benefits are things, well, benefit is the noun form of the verb that we see here that benefits them. So to benefit means to be useful or helpful to someone or to something. So if something benefits you, it basically gives you good things, which is a really good thing. So an example sentence, getting some extra help from his teacher benefited Jesse's grades a lot. So because he got extra help, his grades went up. It benefited his grades because he got some, extra, because he probably needed some help.
Yeah, somebody came and said, this is the way you do it. This is what you can do. Oh, I benefited. I understood, my grades got better, all of that kind of stuff. And we see playing and working in the garden turns Mary and Colin into healthy children. Yeah, it is super important for children to be able to go outside, get some fresh air, get some sunshine,
and
to
play.
Run around and be active. Can't mention vitamin D as a necessary thing for your body that comes from sunlight. It also helps with your eyesight. If you're outside in the fresh air, your eyes tend to be a lot healthier later in life. You won't need glasses quite so early, maybe not at all. So, get outside, play outside, get the fresh air in you. It does turn you into a healthier, stronger person.
That's right. So we have our first two themes covered. We have friendship and we have the importance of being outdoors. The third important theme is the power of a positive attitude or a positive outlook, as you said yesterday.
Exactly. Attitude and outlook basically mean the same kind of thing. So this is all about thinking positively, and that's a big important message that people can have. And there's a parallel here. We see in the article, people's minds need nurturing, just like the secret garden the characters tend. So as they're putting in all this work, developing the plants, helping them to grow, helping the bushes to grow, trimming it here, letting it have more water here, they're actually doing the same things to themselves. They're letting themselves grow. They're letting themselves become more healthy and changing things and giving themselves the things they need to grow. And this is the process of nurturing. And we're using it in the gerund form here with the ing. Nurturing is the act or process of educating and training. It's showing somebody or something the right way to grow, giving them all the resources they need, giving them all the opportunities they need. It's not quite the same as saying, do this, don't do that, do this, don't do that. It's letting this person find things out for themselves, encouraging them to grow and think in the right kind of way. That is nurturing. And it's usually used for kind of younger things and helping them as they get older.
Yes.
But you could also nurture your own mind through things like reading, learning new skills, that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So I think nurturing is kind of the opposite of neglecting.
Exactly.
So if you're neglected, you get ignored, you don't get what you need. If you're nurtured, you get what you need and you get the strength to do things on your own and learn things on your own.
Yeah, nurture is the verb form, N-U-R-T-U-R-E.
Okay, and then we also saw this verb tend. Let's find out what tend means here. This verb tend is what we see when we're talking about tending the garden. You can also tend other things besides gardens. To tend means to give your attention to something and to take care of it. It's kind of similar to nurture, but to tend means to give it care on a consistent basis. So especially you think of plants, you have to water them at a certain time, maybe every day, maybe once a week, maybe even less often than that, but you need to make sure that you are paying attention and giving them what they need to grow and be healthy. So you can also tend other things like take care of over time. For example, tending a shop, tending to some children while their parents are away. That means watching them and making sure they're okay. So for an example sentence, you could say, Pauline tended the shop while the owner was away for a few days. That means she watched over the shop and took care of things there.
Okay, so they're kind of tending to the garden and they're tending to themselves in the same time.
Yes.
And this relates to this theme of having a positive attitude, okay? And we see this in the character of Colin. An important moment for Colin happens when he determines to be a healthy person instead of a sickly one. So he goes, this is it. I've had enough of being sick all day. I'm going to get healthy. Okay?
Yeah.
And to do that, he determines to do this thing. Here, to determine means to decide that you really want to do something, get something, be something, and so on. We often follow it with the preposition to introduce what that person has determined to be, to do, to get, and so on. For example, we could say, Jason has determined to be more active this year, and he's already joined a tennis club. So it's that, it's that moment of making the decision where you go, that's it. This is me. I'm going to make this change. I'm going to do this thing. I've made up my mind.
Yeah, and that's interesting that he determines to be healthy instead of sick. It's not something you could think that you would decide for yourself, because if you're sick, you're sick. But Colin's not actually sick. He just believes he's sick. So he changes his mind, he changes his attitude and his outlook, and he becomes healthier because he believes he can be. So he becomes healthy instead of being sick. So this phrase, instead of, means you are choosing or doing one thing when another thing isn't the thing that you choose, or when you can't do it. So maybe you'd say, I'll have vanilla ice cream instead of chocolate today. Like, I usually have chocolate, but today I want vanilla. So yeah, I chose something else.
Yeah. So Colin says, that's it, I'm going to be healthy. And of course, as Kat said, you could be sick and say, I'm going to be healthy, and it doesn't quite work like that. You've still got the problem.
Yeah.
But it's also a question of your outlook, your attitude. Right. You say, okay, I am sick, but I'm not going to let it completely affect me. And in Colin's case, I'm not going to always stay in bed or in my wheelchair. All right, if I'm sick, I'll be sick, but I'll still do these other things. It's a question of outlook and attitude. And we see that he repeats his desire out loud and wishes hard for it to come true.
I want to be healthy. I want to be healthy.
I'm going to do it.
Yep.
Yeah. We'll talk about some of these words and phrases and what that means, or what they mean, and we're going to start with the word desire. So a desire, this is a noun, is something that you really want. It could be a thing, or it could be a status you want to achieve for yourself. My greatest desire is to become a successful movie star, or something like that. We can also use the word as a verb. I desire to do this. I desire to eat this, something like that. Here it's a noun, and here's an example of how we can use it like this. One of Jeff's greatest desires is to go into space one day.
Okay, so if he is repeating his desire out loud, we have this phrase out loud. That means in a way that is loud enough to be heard. So he's actually saying it. He's actually using his mouth, using his voice, saying, I want to be healthy. I'm going to be healthy. I'm determined to be healthy. We also can say aloud instead of out loud. Aloud being one word, out loud being two words. But it means the same thing.
Yeah, he's not just thinking it in his head. He's saying it maybe to himself, maybe to other people. He's letting it be heard. And he really is hoping that his wishes, his desires come true.
Yes.
And we use this phrase to come true to say when your dream or your wish actually happens in real life. If you, we could use it for a dream, like, oh, I had a dream that I was going to see a lion and it came true.
Whoa.
That just means the thing that happened in your dream really happened.
Yeah.
But it also means if you have this strong desire and you make it happen or it does happen, you would say, all my dreams came true. The thing I wanted happened.
That's great. And so his desire came true. He became a healthy person. And the article says, holding this idea in his mind is a crucial part of his recovery. So recovery meaning, get it healthy. But crucial here is an adjective that we have that is a very important one because it means extremely important. So crucial can mean, painful. It can be very serious, but here it just means extremely important. Another way you could say this is a critical part of his recovery, an essential part of his recovery. It has to happen in order for this to occur.
Yeah, if he wasn't kind of holding this idea in his mind, maybe he wouldn't have recovered so fast, maybe not at all, something like that. So he's got to carry on and keep believing and keep this positive outlook. And this helps with his recovery. Recovery is the noun form of recover. So it's the process and the action of getting better after an injury, after a sickness, or it could be after a period of trouble or difficulties. So, of course, if you get hurt or if you get sick, you want your recovery to happen fast. But we could talk about a business. It has a period of bad sales, but then there is a recovery. It gets back to normal. It gets back to what it was like before. Here's an example sentence. The doctor said the recovery from my broken leg would take several weeks.
Only several weeks. At least it's not several months.
Yeah.
All right, so he gets to recover because he believes he can. And the article says this too. It is his belief in himself and his determination to succeed that finally helps him regain his health. So we're going to see how our language in focus with this it is his belief, blah, 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 that finally helps him regain his health. Let's take a look at that right now. So this language in focus is showing it is something that did something. This is what we use as sort of an inversion to emphasize that something is the main reason or factor in a state or an action. We could say something simple like, Ben ate the cookies. That is a fact. Ben did eat the cookies. But if we want to really show that Ben and not someone else did it, we can say, it was Ben who ate the cookies. This usually is in response or an answer to a question of what or who did something. What is responsible for this? This thing happened. Who did it? Or this thing happened. What is making this happen? So another example you could see is, it's all these cars that make the street so noisy and dirty. Somebody might have just asked, what makes the street so noisy and dirty? It's all these cars. So what finally helps Colin regain his health? It is his belief in himself and his determination that does this. That's why we use it is, because we want to show that it is his belief and his determination and not something else that is responsible for him recovering and getting better.
Another thing we can add about that grammar pattern is that it uses it at the start. And you might think it's a pronoun. What is it referring to? Well, in fact, it is what we call a dummy pronoun. It doesn't actually mean anything. It doesn't stand for anything, but it is essential in order to make the sentence make sense.
Yeah, I think you just did it again. It is essential.
Yes, you need it, otherwise the sentence won't look like a proper sentence. So we use these dummy pronouns, these false pronouns in things like, it's a good idea or it's a good thing that we got here on time because the restaurant's very crowded.
Yeah, it's raining today.
Yeah, so there's nothing that really means it, but we use it to make the sentence make sense.
Yes.
And one of the things that helps Colin's recovery is his determination. We saw the word determine earlier, which is this kind of strong action of going, I'm going to do this. And determination is the noun form. It's a strong desire to do or achieve something no matter how difficult that thing is. Like, I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to let anything stop me because of my determination. I will not fail.
So now we've gone through all 3 themes of the book. We've read the story. We've learned that this secret garden and the friendship of these 3 children has changed their lives for the better. And I think that's great. So that means that we're at the end of our article. Let's go ahead and go to our last For You chat.
For You chat.
So our third theme was all about the power of a positive attitude. And our For You chat question is, do you think you have a positive attitude? Why or why not?
I think I am somewhere between a realist and an optimist.
Okay.
Like, they say that there's 3 kinds of people. There's a pessimist who generally thinks things are going to be bad or believes the worst about things. There's realists who kind of see things the way that they are and is a balance between good and bad. And there's optimists who think that everything is going to be fine and they have big hopes. They have, a very positive outlook. They see that everything is going to be okay. I think I'm between realist and optimist.
Okay.
Yeah.
I depends on what we're talking about.
Yeah.
If it's something like, hey, I've done a play, I wonder what people will think. I've written a story, I wonder what people think. I'm pretty much always optimistic.
Yeah, you're I think people are going to like this.
Yeah, I never worry, oh, do I think my performance was good enough? Do I think people like this show? Am I worried it's not going to go well? I don't have those thoughts. I just go, oh yeah, it'll be great, it'll be fun, it'll be awesome.
Yeah.
When it comes to certain other things, I tend to be a little more, there's another word to go with sort of realism, negatives and positive, which is a little bit cynical. Which I often tend to believe the worst in people or that people are doing something for a bad reason. I shouldn't do it too much. I really should try
It's very easy to be cynical though.
It is, but it's also something you have to push back against or you kind of lose faith in the whole world and everything. You just always see, oh, this is the real, oh, someone's doing something bad, oh, whatever. And it's something if you want to kind of be happy about things, you've got to push back against. Maybe a little bit of being cynical is okay because then you won't get tricked or fooled.
Right.
But going too far is not a good idea. And it's something I could probably work on.
Yeah,
but
I think when it comes to the whole world, humans as a whole, maybe I'm kind of cynical too.
Yeah.
But when it comes to people individually, I think I'm more positive.
Okay, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for reading through these 3 days of story with us. For English for You, I'm Pat.
And I'm Kat.
And we'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Vocabulary Review.
Capable. My eyes are getting worse. I'm no longer capable of driving without glasses. Benefit. The new MRT line will benefit the people who live in this area. Tend. Every morning, Martha tends to the plants in her vegetable garden and makes sure they're growing well. Determine. Victor has determined to improve his English grades this year, so he's studying a lot harder than before. Desire. Nora wanted to lose weight, so she fought her desire to eat ice cream. Recovery. After she broke her leg, it took years for Helen to make a full recovery and walk without help.
智慧小补帖
Wheelchair. Sunshine. Nurturing. Crucial.
以上节目是由活用空中美语制作，活用空中美语杂志，请洽询全国各大书店。如欲索取试听教材，请来电02-2364-4000 02-2364-4000，或上网查询，网址是 www.english4u.net www.english4u.net